Go with England where it's 999.
No, we're not going to go with England versus 999. And yes, we are recording right now. You're listening to Revolution Rampage. And for those who are wondering where that came from, we're talking about working hard and making money until your bank account looks like a phone number. In which case, for most of us, it's probably an emergency phone call. Anyways.
Or information.
Or information 411. All right. And that's because we're spending
give me the 411, my man. What just happened?
Right. We're spending the money on Canes tickets. Speaking of the Canes, after all, this is a Carolina hockey podcast, and the only hockey happening right now is NHL hockey. Although it does look like marksman hockey might be back sooner than other hockey, and we'll have some rumors about the AHL and their return as well later in the episode. But for now, let's talk about what just happened between the Carolina Hurricanes and the cue to booing New York Rangers. I said cue to booing. There you go. All right.
Hey, I'm working on
this is where we need Wade. Boo. This is where we need Wade to just bust out his classic line.
Okay, I just gotta. I did
I'll
not
insert
see
it
this
later.
game.
Yeah, what is that? What's the classic line?
Yeah, what is the classic line?
Yeah.
What
Canes win!
Oh, that one? Well, they did!
His mini.
But
Yes, they did.
The Carolina Hurricanes did defeat the evil New York Rangers in a 3-2 game that, while the score was close, the game wasn't as close. The game started out incredibly. Yeah. I mean, Zach, Amanda, have you guys ever seen such a fast start to this game? Like,
no,
the Rangers just got slapped in the face.
Yeah.
5 minutes
literally.
into this game. Literally,
I will say,
physically, and every
I will say what I said
level.
on Twitter.
Literally.
Oh my god, it was fun. I will say what I said on Twitter.
What?
The first part of this game, and for the most part of this game, looked like we were watching a live action version of NHL Hits.
Something like that.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
Brady
really
Shea
witty.
opened up this game with a "Hello, Jesper Fast." You remember me?
Really.
And Jesper Fast said who? Because he couldn't remember anyone after that.
Right.
Because he went to the locker room and did not return for the rest of the game. So just off the bat, New York was playing with 11 forwards. And then Justin Williams and...
How about Dad getting in a fight? What's
yeah,
going on
getting with
there?
Brandon Strome. And guess what?
Oh my
he got
god.
some good licks in here. Brandon Strome
really
was
did.
bleeding. Brandon Strome had to go into the locker room and get looked at after that, while Williams
I saw him
went to the
scraping
box, which started to get crowded because at one point there were 3 kids in the box.
It was crowded.
Like, there was penalties.
My gosh,
There were...
the slow motion of it was even better.
Look, each team racked up 21 minutes of penalties.
Yeah.
There were 42 penalty minutes in a 60-minute game. Can we talk? Like, what?
I had a lot of feelings with that Justin fight. It was like, oh wow, that's exciting. Or what? What? Dad, what are you doing?
It's like Kane is singing. It's Williams. Oh,
I know.
He's landing hits.
What?
Yeah, it's just, well,
But
you know
then it's
what?
like, I get
Hey,
it.
He did
There's so many
say
emotions.
he did say that he did not sign to play 20 games. He signed to fight for a Stanley Cup. We didn't understand that meant literally fight.
Fighting. Yeah. But
Everything
hey, it
from
got
around
everybody
that
over.
game.
but hey, you got some good
fired
licks
up,
in,
so.
and then literally, 30 seconds later, we scored?
Yeah, so Jacob Slavin says, fine, I'll do it myself. Puts on the glove and just rips one past Hank. And then from there on, honestly, like, Hank looked flat for the first period, really. Carolina got some good shots in there. The Ranger defense kind of got in the way for a lot of it. Carolina did have some sloppy starts, but then they cleaned it up, right? Their forecheck looked incredible through the whole game. 60 minutes, no letting off on the forecheck. And then after that, Hanks began to stand on his head. Yes, this is a 3-goal game against, but he did see around 40 shots.
Right.
On the other end, Peter Mrazek.
I believe the final was 36, but still.
Is it
It's
the final
around.
36?
And both the ones that Peter had were tips. Like they weren't just straight shots; they were tipped. So
Right.
Peter at least had something going on.
Yeah, Peter sees 26 shots. I mean, so like Lundqvist could say has a 0.919 save percentage. Mrazek has a .923 save percentage. Both playing around 59 minutes, almost a full game for each. Lundqvist gets pulled late in the game with less than a minute, which amounts to nothing. And Mrazek has that 10 seconds of being away from the net for the delayed penalty. Look, let's talk about the Canes' special teams, right? Because Sebastian Aho scores the second goal of the game on a power play goal. And Hurricanes did.
I thought it was a double tip for a second.
It looked like it looked, but Andrei Svechnikov gets a puck from Vatanen, right? Sammy Vatanen gets his first point as a Carolina Hurricane, and Svech gets just shoot it from there. But instead, he sees Williams create an incredible screen, right? This is Williams. He loves the screen plays. He pushes for screening, and he sees Williams on the screen and sees Sebastian Aho drifting behind Williams, puts it past everyone to straight on the stick of Aho, who tips it perfectly right behind Lundqvist for his second goal. It's a 2-0 lead. Then later in that period, Zibanejad makes it a 2-1. But in the third period, and sure, it wasn't technically a power play goal, but it came on the first few seconds after the power play had died out. So I'm going to count it as kind of really truly being a power play goal.
In the words of Trip Tracy,
you play until the next
30 seconds after a power play should be considered.
Right, because you play until the whistle. Because yeah, sure, you got that extra man, but until he gets up to where everyone else is, he's not actually playing. And yeah, so Martin Necas scores a goal that Vincent Trocheck was going to score anyways if it didn't bounce the way it did between Lundqvist's legs and in. That ends up being the game-winning goal because Mark Stahl goes ahead and scores a shorthanded goal that really just shows the tenacity that the Rangers have. Too little, too late, in my opinion. But so both teams score on the power
Technically,
play.
Mark Stahl scored both of the last goals.
So yeah, but I mean, if you look at the penalty kill has been incredible. The Carolina Hurricanes at one point had more shots on goal on the kill than the Rangers did. I mean, the first 4 penalties that the Rangers had, they couldn't muster a single shot on goal. I mean, they left the entire first period with only 4 shots on goal. If they can keep this up, this is going to be a sweep.
That was just my thought. I literally thought that. I was like, I would not be surprised if they sweep this one.
Right? Because at this point, the Hurricanes are like, oh, we're going to commit a penalty? Sure. Our killers are going to kill it, and then we come right back out. And that kind of gives you a kind of confidence. Hey, I can do whatever, right? If I get called for a penalty, oh, well. You know, the kill will come
next?
out. What was that?
Remind me who's the potential for the next round.
I mean, right now, as it stands, it's going to be the Capitals. But with the round robin happening, there's so much that can happen, right? Because say Montreal beats the Rangers and not the Rangers, sorry, the Penguins. And if nothing happens in the round robin, everyone stays as is. We'll end up playing the Flyers.
Oh, the memes.
Flyers.
We'll end up playing the Flyers.
I wouldn't
right?
mind that.
It could be anyway. Really, if Boston comes out flat, quite honestly, we want to win this round because the chances are, if we win this round, we'll either be the 5th or 6th seed, depending on how Montreal and Pittsburgh go. And if we're the 5th or 6th seed going into not the second round, it's really the first round, we're gonna get whatever round robin team was the sloppiest.
Yeah.
And that's gonna
Well,
just
that's good.
that's gonna be potential for us because now teams are looking at the Carolina Hurricanes and how even with Lundqvist in net, you're talking about a team that can muster shots up at any time, has a face-off percentage that's just killing it. I mean, we killed the Capitals at the face-off. We just went to town on the Rangers as well, and
I mean, in
You don't
reality, with the Capitals, we should have won that game. If
it doesn't matter. It's an exhibition game. I didn't care. There's a lot of lessons learned, and apparently they took those lessons into this game. And now, no
definitely.
team. I don't think anyone in the Bruins, the Lightning, the Flyers, or the Capitals are looking at the Hurricanes, going, you know what? That's what I want my first round draw to be. They're like, no, I'd rather take on the Islanders or the Panthers or whomever, Montreal, if it comes down to it. Honestly, they're like Toronto, Columbus.
I just feel like we're the trap team.
Or is it really a trap if everyone knows
literally
we're good?
the teams will overlook us?
No one's overlooking us anymore, all right? After what we just
I think those days are over.
Jacob Slavin scoring 69 minutes into a game. You're talking about
Second.
7 power plays and nothing to show for it. You're talking about putting up 37 shots on goal, scoring against Lundqvist, who would put on a masterful performance. And this is not on Hank at all. All right, I don't understand how some Rangers fans are like, "Well, Hank's trash. He's a has-been." Hold on, let me put my New Yorker accent on. Oh, Hank is trash. Nobody wants to play him. Give me a Westchester, huh?
Do you usually have to put your New York accent on? Isn't it usually always there?
Listen here.
Am I wrong?
When you're talking about the Yankees, it's always there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I'm going on about my man Aaron Judge, huh? Knocking it out the park night after night. You don't want to pitch to him.
Them boys are savages at the plate.
I feel bad for you. Aaron Boone still pumps me up. All right. So going back where the New York team is the bad guy. Look, these playoffs are interesting, right? And Jacob Slavin just became a.
When is the New York team not the bad guy?
When they're the New York Yankees, I don't want to hear from any of yous.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
I got a case of the giggles today.
Hey, okay, Brett Pesci, him and his family will back me up here. Trevor, too.
Bad.
Oh
I know
my gosh.
Van Riemsdijk's a Yankees fan, too. All right. I
Moving
like what
on.
I saw from
Brian Pesci, if you
everyone.
listen to this, answer the question, are you a Yankees fan?
I'll answer for you. Hey.
Okay, Fonzie.
Can we get back to hockey, please, children?
Yes, we may. There's nothing I didn't like except for maybe taking so many penalties, which doesn't seem to have been a problem. But against a team that might be the Rangers aren't bad on the power play either. In fact, on the season, they were 7th overall in the league. The only thing is Carolina holds the 4th best power play in the league. Sorry, penalty kill in the league to counter that, compared to the Rangers' 27th best. So, I wrote the Cardiac Kane article with the keys. My first key was score first. Right? Carolina Hurricanes are just a monster of a team when they have the lead. They play so much better when they have the lead. It showed today. And if they can keep this up, scoring first. Jacob Slavin scoring 61 seconds into the game won the game. I was like, yep, that's it. This game was won.
I think Fox Sports put up a graphic where I believe it was 26-0-1 after a lead in the third period.
Right, yeah. So taking a lead into the third period, and the Hurricanes are 26-1-0. They've only lost a single game. Right? Taking a lead out of the first period, they're 19-0-1. Overall, when they score first, they're 26-3-4. So you're talking about a team that plays better with the lead in all aspects, in all periods. So of course, the math didn't add up for some of y'all going, what happened there? Well, sometimes leads get lost in periods, but we're not counting periods where, where they have a tie or something, or they went in with a lead and the other team tied it. But no, Carolina went into a lead in every single period, and hey, the Rangers, they scrapped by a couple of garbage time goals. Yeah, sure, Zibanejad's goal wasn't garbage time, but it did come in the 14th minute of the second period, so we're already past the halfway point. Mrazek had an excellent game. No adventures. I think that was a big thing. No adventures, no leaving the net.
Can we just have a healthy goaltender player, please?
Hey,
but then again, David Ayres is in Toronto.
He's available.
Don't we have 4?
Yeah, we have 4. So we have Mrazek.
Yeah, they brought 4 up.
They got 4. They didn't dress 4, but they brought them. They're chilling in the hotel or watching the game.
Yeah, they got 5. David Ayres is just back over in his house going I'm waiting.
Yeah. I don't think David Ayres is going to be allowed in the bubble. Anyways. Unless he's needed to Zamboni the ice. Which I think those days
Oh my God, how awesome would that be?
Just do it in the Toronto. Good night, Dave. Good night, John. For those who don't know that commercial, it is an excellent commercial. So here's an interesting thing with the game, right? You got Sami Vatanen, who showed up with a couple of slappers that got past everyone but Lundqvist. I mean, there's nothing in this game that doesn't make me excited for the next game and the game after that and the game after that. Honestly, I don't know if the Hurricanes want to take this to more than 3 games. They probably will. The Rangers are probably licking their wounds now and going over tape. But obviously, the Hurricanes prepared so much better for this game than the Rangers have. And I think there's a bit of mentality. Let's chip off the shoulder, right? Brady Shea showed that chip. Williams showed that chip on the shoulder. Like, oh, you're not going to just come onto this ice and bully us around. No, that's our job. We're going to bully you around. And they did. They bullied them on the power play. They bullied them on the kill.
Overall fitness-wise, the Hurricanes were miles better other than Nietzsche's, but he'll catch up.
I mean, Nietzsche took some hits. I mean, a lot of the Hurricanes took some hits. And nobody seemed worse for wear. I know Svechnikov got a nice little shove from Trouba. Greg McKegg showed some tenacity against the Canes, and then Fleury came right behind him and said, "Hey, remember me?"
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna make a prediction that there will be a former Hurricane versus Hurricane fight sometime in here. And honestly, I think it's going to be McKegg rather than Gutierrez that's going to be the one that fights.
How about a former Ranger versus Ranger fight? I think Brady Shea is going to have to drop the gloves soon enough, especially after what he did to Jesper Fast.
Yeah, so, imagine if he comes back in like game 3.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That hit didn't look that bad, but I'm not in the Rangers training room, and not to mention there's just no way for anyone to find out what the injuries are because of the COVID regulations. Like Igor Shesterkin was deemed unfit to play, but was seen in the arena wearing a mask. So I'm guessing he's still in the bubble. That means it's probably not COVID. So maybe
it's probably just a fitness level that a lot of players are struggling with. Like a lot of the Boston Bruins, they're struggling with their fitness level right now.
Yeah, this is a Rod Brindamore coach team. That's never going to be a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all got that Rod bod.
Everyone's getting abs now. That's right. It's you get issued when you sign with the Hurricanes. Like, here you go. Here's your jersey. Here's your abs, and here's your stick.
Here's your 6-pack. Right. Yeah.
Now, one thing that I know a lot of Canes fans are thinking about, especially Amanda, is when is Dougie Hamilton actually going to step on the ice? Because they deemed his injury week by week. Will he be there for game 2, or are they going to wait for game 3? Or are they even going to play him at all this series? And I think if they don't have to, they shouldn't.
Okay, so here's the facts. Let's talk about the facts. Fact 1, Dougie Hamilton was seen skating on his own after the Canes practice yesterday. Fact 2, Rob Brind'Amour did not discount him coming into this series. But knowing Rod Brind'Amour and the Hurricanes, they're not going to force anyone to play if they're not ready.
Right.
Which is how this Hurricane team has managed to keep their injuries, jokes aside, at a minimum.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. And they probably had him do it after the regular practice just to keep contact from, instead of putting him out there with a no contact jersey, they just put him out there for no contact. So maybe it was some sort of contact injury.
Could have been. I mean, from what I
Maybe
understand,
he's just bruised or
that
sprained
it's
or-
not a re-injury of his broken
No.
leg.
Yeah. I
So
heard
that's the
that.
good news, folks. Dougie Hamilton, who will absolutely make a difference. Chances are, if this series goes to 5, you will absolutely play Game 5. I'm calling right now. It's over a week from now. The fact that he's already been skating is a good look.
Yeah, it's an excellent sign.
Yeah. So here's what's going to be interesting. Now, I don't know who wins Game 2, but I'm going to tell you right now, Hurricanes win Game 3. And the reason for that, it's a back-to-back. And when it comes to back-to-backs, for some reason, the Hurricanes are always way better conditioned and play a lot better in Game 2 of a back-to-back. I don't know who's going to win.
I'm just happy that it's a night game so I can actually watch it instead of listening to it from work.
Yeah, so, let's talk about that real quick. So, Game 2 will be noon on Monday, so a lot of people are going to be at work. So, I'm taking time from work to catch the game and bring you guys all the great analysis that I have coming to you live from, I don't know. Anyways, and then Game 3 will be an 8 p.m. start. So, if
you two are
Monday's
lucky.
game-
I have to go make hockey cards.
how awful. I'm kidding.
I'm making hockey cards while listening to hockey. Does my life not run around hockey?
Nah.
Yeah.
But if Monday's game ends about the same time as today's game at 2:45, you're looking at about a 16-hour no, not 16, 24 plus 6 hours, so about 30-hour, around the 30-hour different, separation between games. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams are expected to be nice and ready for that, but I think the Hurricanes will have a physical advantage over the Rangers. Not to mention, both teams have good depth in goaltending, but I think you go with Peter Mrazek for Game 2 and you say James Reimer for Game 3. I think if Hurricanes win Game 2, they sweep the series. Saying it now, the Rangers have to win Game 2 and then try to force a Game 5. If not, that's it. Game 1 was that important. Right now, if the Rangers can't win Game 2, they're going to get swept. That is my prediction for the rest of the series, folks. There it is. I don't know who wins Game 2, but the Hurricanes win Game 3, so...
You have our permission to write it down and fact check Omar later.
If the Rangers can't squeeze out a W on Monday, the series is over for them. They might as well start packing their bags Tuesday morning. Just have the bus ready outside of Scotiabank Arena so that way they can just show up for 60 minutes, get on the bus, and head back down to New York City.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see our boys until, what they say, October? I think that's when they said that if they won the Stanley Cup, they'd be back.
Wow.
I think that's what they said. Either way, me and Amanda, we were part of the car send-off thing, and that was amazing. So many people showed up.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that,
really
so
good.
you guys go ahead and talk about that.
Well, it was good. I mean, I was surprised of how many people actually really showed up. It
They
was
said
really
1,000 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they just kept coming and coming because they only really expected to, when you come in to turn left, maybe the first couple of parking lots, and then the overflow was going to be, along the side, and then the overflow was going to be in the parking lots. but they just kept coming. And I got there maybe about 4:15, 4:20, and I was expecting to have to wait because they were telling people not to come before 4:30. So I was like, okay, maybe they'll just stop us, and then, but they let us in, and so I was, right after you turn left, I was right there. But
Lucky. I made the mistake. I got there at
they
like
kept
4 o'clock, and I knew I was early, so I went to a gas station and chilled there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. But I looked back and it was just the line. They just kept coming and coming and coming. So they were like, well, shoot. They started putting people in the front and that passed. So they started wrapping it around the building, and it wrapped around the building, and then it went into the parking lot. So it was way more than they expected, but they did an excellent job.
When I got there, I ended up being over by the tailgate parking lot. That's where I was, and I was sitting there going, "Oh, I miss this spot. I miss this place so much."
I know.
But Hamilton was there. He was right in front, in between PNC and Carter Finley.
Hamilton, the pig,
so was Wade.
The pig, yeah, the pig.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw him come in.
And they had Stormy, Big Mike, our boy Jonathan. They were in a truck just driving around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was sitting there for probably a good hour to wait to watch a bus go by for like 2 seconds, but it was.
Hey, we got our money's worth, because then Martinook and his dad came by in that truck going crazy.
No.
That wasn't his dad. That was Don Waddell.
That was Don Waddell.
Either way, they were going crazy.
well, yeah, technically also his dad.
But I was lucky because I was in a particular spot where they came and turned left and went around the building, and then they had to pass us again to get out. So I got to see the bus twice just because of where I was. So that was kind of cool. But I mean, it was just really exciting. And we saw a couple of players come in, like Williams and Dougie come in. And I laughed because Dougie was driving in and he's got his phone sitting above the steering wheel, just like, holy crap, like really taping everybody as he's going in. And I mean, just the look on the guys' faces of this is amazing. It was so worth it. It was so worth it to see all the guys on the bus with their phones out. I mean, it couldn't have been better. The energy.
The only
was
other
amazing.
team I believe that did something like this was Vegas, and if you look at the footage of what they did versus what we did, it looked so different. Ours looked so much more fun. Vegas's, they were just in a parking lot, and then they left. Yeah. It was so boring. Now, with ours, Amanda and Omar, imagine if we were allowed to line the road all the way from PNC to their takeoff point at RDU. Like, that would have happened with the amount of people that were there easily.
Yeah, no, we would have wrapped around the building definitely if it was just people. It was good, totally worth it. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Well, hopefully we'll do it again in October.
Well, hopefully we'll do it again with a whole much more people, a float, a parade, stuff like that,
Some confetti.
That'll be difficult,
well, a parade,
maybe some cake.
A parade where you stay in your car and everyone's part of the parade.
Right, yeah.
You get season ticket holders.
Wait. Speaking of cake, that awkward moment between Trip Tracy and Mike Maniscalco with the cake. Come on, Trip, just give him the cake.
Trip's like, I can't give you this cake, so I'm going to eat it. You're like,
just give him that cake.
Just put it on. It's your idea.
Just get a table. Just get a table. Put the cake on the table and let him have it. I mean, come on.
Chip is so awkward anyway. He's funny.
But we love him.
Of course we do. Of course.
It's kind of weird though, the way they have the media set up, where all the media is still at PNC Arena. Like Trip and Mike are up in the broadcast booth, and then Abby and Shane Willis are right at the Buffalo Brothers deck with the Jumbotron and no ice. There's no ice, but they still have the glass up for some reason.
I didn't notice that there wasn't
it's
ice.
there for looks.
Well,
can we
Smith
talk
is up
about
there with
how how Adam Lee Decker still managed to sneak in and sing the national anthem.
I was happy to see that, but I was not happy that they didn't pick one of his recordings from the playoffs last year.
Was that a
For
recording?
like a
Was that
hot
actually him?
second.
That was a recording. I'm pretty sure. If it wasn't a recording,
yeah, for like a second I was like, please don't tell me they took him to the bubble.
I thought
realized
they, he did it at PNC Arena, and then they just broadcasted it in Toronto.
No, it.
See, I don't know. Now I'm all sorts of confused.
I am not sure. I think it was a recording because if you listen to it, you can actually hear us yell "red" in the background.
Yeah,
I was too busy yelling "red" myself. See.
Yeah, you can hear the fans. That's why I was like, oh, phew.
Man, that's something that Kane should do. Is just have us all send in videos of us yelling "red."
Crazy times.
Yeah, but we got to remember, it's all for the best, and the Canes are winning, so it's even better.
Right. So if they do, so when this series ends, it's going to be, like you said, October-ish. Do they start the next season right then? Or
I believe it's December. I believe they're taking 2 months off, and then it'll start in December.
So there's been conversations about that, and they've said either start in December or start in January. Now that brings us back to what we were mentioning earlier about what about the other leagues, right? The AHL, ECHL, and SPHL. From right now, because the SPHL is kind of disconnected from the NHL, there's no affiliation or anything to any of the teams, and it's also only 8 teams. I think they're gonna start normal.
I think
with limited fans in the buildings, depending on location.
Would the FPHL also do that, since they're kind of feeders to each other?
I mean, they're feeders to each other, but not on an official level. I think just contracts-wise. But for right now, that's all I know because of the Marksman. Mentioned that they're going to start. Probably have more information on that for the next episode.
Yeah, always shout outs to the Marksmen. They love us.
Yeah, they're doing great. They released a new jersey that looks incredible. I already bought one, and
so did I. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, it's a play on the Hurricanes black, but it's a Marksman owned with their own colors and with the NC State flag on the shoulder. It's a really nice, clean jersey. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I know the NWHL has announced that they're starting in January.
Okay.
Right.
So now we know at
the
least
NHL is probably going to
2
start.
leagues.
Yeah, NHL is probably going to kick off with the Winter Classic. More likely than not. But they won't do it.
Does that affect us, though, with the Stadium Series?
Well, the Stadium Series wasn't going to happen until February.
Yeah.
But Don Waddell did mention that the Stadium Series might get delayed, right? Because they're not going to do the Stadium Series or the Winter Classic without fans.
Yeah,
the whole point is to fill a bigger arena, while also playing outside, right? Or otherwise, they'll just play outside in a pond in Canada.
Actually, that sounds like a cool idea.
They might do that. So that's another thing, right? They might kind of play a different kind of Winter Classic if they're forced to continue playing without fans, and of course to continue doing a bubble style thing if this COVID thing doesn't get cleaned up. It's from what I'm seeing so far during these playoffs is that the bubble works. The bubble works.
Seem to be working.
You compare it to what the MLB is doing, that's not working, right? You've had already 2 different teams with positive cases while the league has actually stayed clean. You look at, so if they want to do a bubble thing where they play out in the middle of nowhere on a mountaintop, and they bring a whole bunch of camera kits and stuff, that would be amazing. That would be must-see TV. Will it be the same as the Winter Classic? No. So I would, if there can't be fans in the buildings next year because we haven't figured out how to deal with COVID, I'm going to, as much as I really want to go down that rant, I'm not going to.
Leave it alone. It's okay.
We're in too much of a good mood.
Yeah, right? Then they should just push the teams that are going to have the Winter Classic and the Stadium Series to the year after that. We might have to wait a little bit, Caniacs, but that's okay. I think health and safety comes first. The bubble seems to work, but will they do a bubble for a whole season, right? Because doing the bubble for the playoffs, you lose, you go home. You win, you might get a Stanley Cup. So there seems to be a win-win situation. Either you're out of it, you go straight home, you spend time with your family, or if you win, you get to get bragging rights for another year. The only issue becomes, can they do that for a whole season, right? Because for a whole season, there's no losing going home unless you miss the playoffs, right? And then at which point you had to be away from your family for an extended period of time, no matter what. And if you happen to not make the playoffs, well, you're still away from your family for an extremely long period of time. I don't think they'll be able to do another bubble, even though it works. Players won't agree to it. I wouldn't agree to it. So it's next season is going to be fans or bust. So
we got 5 months until next season, which is December, January. So 5, 6, 7 months. A lot of things could happen between now and then, hopefully for the better. We'll just have to wait and see. It's one of those situations where you have to wait and see.
Good news is there is multiple vaccines that are in development. Some that seem to be really good news. It might be prepared for delivery and in actual administration in December. So we don't know how that'll look like. But there's going to be people who are like, I'm not taking the vaccine. I don't need it. And they're going to put everyone else at risk, and it's going to screw everything.
But just take it. We want hockey. Just go do it.
Look, you're not convincing me. You're convincing...
I'm going to go get the t-shirt cannon and just be like, vaccines for everybody.
What, you're going to shoot them with a vaccine? Good Lord, man.
Hey, they'll be in a
violent.
Box.
Douse everybody with it.
Just need a trank gun, just...
Right?
But in reality, there's people who can't take the vaccine because of autoimmune diseases and stuff.
But still, if you get enough people to vaccinate,
the herd immunity
will take over.
But we have to work as a herd for herd immunity to happen.
It's a good thing my favorite college team is Marshall, the Thundering Herd. But
This is the first time I've heard of herd immunity. I've never heard that phrase before.
Okay, so for those who haven't heard, like Amanda, let me give a quick layman's term rundown.
I thought this was a hockey podcast, not WebMD.
We talk about everything.
Basically, herd immunity is if enough people have immunity because of vaccines or they got the virus and they got over it, then there's not enough people carrying the disease for those who are autoimmune and are at risk of, who can't take the virus, can't take the vaccine, can't take the vaccine to be, what's the word I'm looking for?
Affected.
Not affected, but, at risk of infection. Because they won't run into people who have the virus. They'll run into people who are either vaccinated or have had it and gotten over it, and they're healthy again, right? Because they're now immune. So even though they technically aren't immune from the disease, everyone around them is, and therefore they are immune by association.
Right.
And the number to roughly get herd immunity is around 70%. 65-70% is when it starts to take over.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So America would need about 250 million or so to have it really take effect.
All right. So between everyone who's already gotten it and gotten healthy, and hopefully they're asking for about 100 million to 200 million vaccines to be administered. We should get there. But
just hurry up.
Find out.
Come on. I want hockey. I'm bored.
I want people to be healthy. How about that?
I'm
bored, man. I just bought some skates. I want to go ice skate.
Hopefully the rinks will open up. I'm looking forward to getting back on the ice. I mean, after everything we've seen today, I'm ready to check someone into oblivion.
Omar, I just kept imagining Omar and our buddy Remy just try to go after each other.
Yeah, that was bad news for Remy. Anyways,
uh-oh.
So the AHL. So the rumor has it that the AHL is also planning to start a December-January start to next season to kind of either mimic the NHL or begin a little earlier. Because
I mean, they kind of have to. They're connected with the NHL with contracts and a lot of other things.
Right.
They kind of have to do that.
But they can start on their own, and then later on incorporate NHL contracted players that get moved down. Right now, the Carolina Hurricanes still do not have an AHL affiliate. The conversation between the Hurricanes and the Chicago Wolves has kind of died down. Everything's still up in flux.
Technically, it's still the Checkers because they never officially dissolved the connection.
Well, it expired is what happened. The contract expired. So, as of right now, it's still up in the air of who goes where and if there's going to be a change, right? And everyone's been afforded a break in the conversation and a breather really to see if we're going to still keep the Checkers or if we're going to move forward with the
How about we
Wolves,
keep John
or-
Forsland? How about that?
That's another thing, right? John called today's game. Against
Yeah,
the
too bad it
Rangers
was blacked out in this area.
because it was on Fox Sports Carolina, which is strange because last year when playoff games were on both channels, they didn't black out NBC.
Yeah, I thought that was strange.
So
I mean,
don't
obviously-
know.
Yeah,
able to
what
see
kind
it
of
for Fox
BS
Sports,
is
but-
this?
Well, I can understand
Yeah.
Fox wanting NBC to be blacked out to ensure everyone watches their feed.
Right.
But here's what I'm gonna have to say about that. It's like, okay, I get that to a degree, but what about the people who are just, like, I wonder what's on TV, and they don't think to switch to Fox Sports Carolina, and they're like, oh, what's this?
Or
They're
they don't
playing
have
on
that
ice with knives on their feet. What is this sport, right?
But I mean, and some people don't even have that channel in their package.
Right, and there's of course you can always go to Fox Sports Go to try and see if that alleviates that. I know, like, I don't have Fox Sports Carolina in my package technically, but I do have RSNs or regional sports networks. So as long as I use Fox Sports Go, words are hard, I am fine. So for all those who are like, where is the game? As they're yelling at their TV and crunching up the remote in their hands, check Fox Sports Go. Chances are that's where your game will be. If you got a
With
Roku or
Fox-
something.
With Fox Sports Go, you have to have a subscription somewhere to sign in or something.
Right.
Don't you?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
As
all too
long as you have
confusing.
the RSN, which is Regional Sports Network, as a part of your package, even if Fox Sports Carolina is on a channel you can find, logging into Fox Sports Go with your TV login or your cable login should be able to help you find the game.
Or get NHL TV. Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag also blacked out.
Also, yeah, they don't have anything. I was so mad because I couldn't find the that word.
Exhibition.
That game.
Exhibition.
It was
Oh
also
my gosh, this is the
Sports
same
Go.
thing that happened to the last episode, Amanda.
I know. I couldn't find
Exhibition. And there you go, today's phonics.
Today's phonetics of the day.
Yeah.
I cannot say that word for some reason. But anyway, I couldn't find that game. So I downloaded the NHL TV app.
Yeah, all
And
Carolina
paid
games will be blacked out in
$5
Carolina.
or whatever. And it
For
was
now,
blacked out. I
until
couldn't see
regional
anything.
broadcasting cuts out and it's all national, like last year.
God.
Well, no, and it won't
Well,
be
what
on
is the point?
NHL TV. They'll be on the national channel.
Right. So what's the point of it?
There is no
It's-
point.
it's-
The point of NHL TV is if you're a Hurricanes fan in, like, Seattle.
That was
Like,
getting
I use
canceled.
MLB TV to watch my Yankees play. Hey! But then when they play the Nationals or the freaking Baltimore Dirty Birds, then I can't watch them because for some freaking reason, the Washington sports area, and then include Baltimore, is blacked out in Carolina. So,
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
it is
Telling
ridiculous.
you.
Whole concept of, and here's another thing: why would you black out anything? The whole original concept of blacking out sports was because there weren't enough people going to the game, so they figured if they blacked it out, then people would actually travel to go to the game. Well, I can't have people at the game at all, so why black out any sports?
That's true. That's very true.
I don't know.
Well, you know what all the
I give up. I just give up.
It's just money. Money, money, money.
Money, money, money.
The
All right.
only town making money on sports right now is Orlando because they got the NBA and MLS down there. They're making boatload of money.
I don't know. Florida's looking bigger and bigger in trouble when it comes to this virus right now.
Hey, they're at Walt Disney World. Disney World's like a fortress.
Is it though?
Yes.
Well, if they get a big enough tidal wave, it isn't.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they have a rat problem.
Goodness.
They have a rat problem.
Why is Brad Marchand down there?
Or a mouse problem? I can't tell.
My goodness, this is a fun episode.
I mean,
we have gone
game,
everywhere.
I think we're dying down now. Our energy levels are kind of cold.
I know. I know.
It was like my heart rate.
I need an espresso.
I can hear my heart rate in my ear, just like the blood rushing through my ears. Like, ba-dum. It's like late in the second period after you diminish that goal going into the third period. My dog's coming up to me like, "You okay, bro?" I'm like, "No."
It's too much excitement too early on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's like we just got up.
Right.
How do you think I'm going to feel at work?
I'm still drinking coffee, watching.
I'm going to be sitting there making hockey cards going, "Oh, they're scoring." Ah.
I'll tell you what, the Hurricanes drank their coffee. I don't know what they had for breakfast.
Yeah, they sure did.
But I need that, okay? Because they showed up with fire to kick off these Stanley Cup playoffs. I can't wait for next few games. Let's talk about some of the other games real quick, because right now, as we're recording, the Chicago
Probably
Blackhawks and Oilers are going at it. Chicago's up 4-1, by the way, in the first
Wow.
Dang!
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. In what period? In the first period, right?
They're still in the first period. They're up 4-1. Like,
Is Malcolm Subban the goalie?
Let's
ouch.
look at statistics.
No,
here.
Malcolm's for Chicago. That's a good thing. That's not a burn.
No, it's Crawford. Crawford actually made it up there, so it's Crawford in net. Right now, you're looking at. Let's see here. Shots are 12 Chicago, 7 Edmonton. Chicago scored 4 times on 12 shots on Mike Smith.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Toews, Brandon Saad, Jonathan Towles, and Dylan Strome.
They actually have this on WRIL, like the local Channel 5.
So there you go, folks. If now you can find out later that we watched the game locally.
Right. Well,
gosh.
Why? But they've got that. They've got the Blackhawks game on a regular TV channel. Why the beep can't?
Well, WRAL is an NBC channel, so
yeah. So it's technically on NBC.
Okay. Well, all right.
Which was
either way, still dumb.
But the Canes game was blacked out.
Right.
Right, because it's also on Fox. Because Fox wanted that money. And it's part of the Sinclair deal. Welcome to the bureaucracy of TV in the United States.
Yep. I knew it all too well.
The
so
Canadians and
right
Penguins
now
are playing later. Yeah.
Both teams have scored power play goals. Connor McDavid opened up the scoring, and then Blackhawks said, "Oh, we can do that too." And you got Taves looking for a hat trick.
Imagine the headlines if the Oilers come back and win. Like, they'll just say the Blackhawks collapsed. I'm like, this is just gonna be a fun game.
Wouldn't be too far from the Tampa Bay Columbus game 1 last year, because pretty much kind of.
Oh my God! Imagine if that happens again. If Columbus comes back and comes into the first round and beats the Lightning.
Well, and they played around Lightning the first round after beating Toronto. Well, they had to get past Toronto first.
But I'm just saying, like, imagine that happens. Like, oh, the memes. They will never stop.
Okay, like, the memes are never going to stop this after everything that's happened today already. Between Old Man Williams freaking punching out Strome. Brady Shea knocking
Hey, he may not be an old man, but he will bust your face.
Hey, he showed up his old man strength. I mean, he played today like he was still 25 years old. Like, what was that, Williams? And where can we get more of it?
Right.
He really wants that net rating, man.
People have been building brackets, and
he wants to have a fistful of rings. other than the thumb. He wants to have a fistful of rings. He has one with the Hurricanes, 2 with the Kings. He wants that 4th one, have a fist.
I mean, he's collecting the Infinity Stones, so.
Oh my gosh. That's a Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady. He has 6 rings. He has the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm afraid now.
Who's Tom Brady? Never heard of her.
Oh, the Panther fans are going to have a fun time with him this year.
So yeah, this game has got me like all sorts of discombobble. Like I didn't think the Hurricanes were coming out this strong. They did. We are up 1-0 on the New York Rangers. Next game will be Monday at noon. And
make sure everybody stays safe with Hurricane. I can't even remember what it is. It's like I something. But be careful. It's supposed to hit Monday. Just everyone be careful.
We'll see how that goes. We'll keep an eye out on the weather. But yeah, Hurricanes made us proud, and they'll do it again on Monday. Money Puck had him winning this game, and everyone called out Money Puck for saying that. But
yeah, they were bashing it on the NBC one before the game, the pregame thing, and oh yeah, Rangers got it. Rangers definitely.
Nope.
Whoopsies.
Yeah.
The Carolina Hurricanes, the establishment killers.
Yeah, I mean, at no point in the game did the Hurricanes dip below a 55% chance of winning. So
we win.
Yeah. So after the Nature's goal, and they went up, they blew all the way up to around a 98% chance, and from there it was free skating. Kind of my heart rate went back down to normal. I was able to breathe, and it was a complete game by Carolina. The deserve-o-meter had him at a you like this, guys, 69% chance of deserving it, meaning that in 1,000 simulations they won the game 69% of the time. Nice.
Nice.
Chris Kreider on the Rangers was probably their best player. But after that, really, everyone else kind of disappeared. Julien Gauthier, next best player after Kreider in expected goals, with 0.24. Capo Kako 0.2.
Oh my God, what happened to Panarin and Zibanejad?
Yeah, right. Where's Breadman? I mean, Zibanejad got on the board, but Breadman was completely gone. So, I've always thought that people calling for him to win the Hart was insane and that he was overrated in that concept, and I think that confirms it. For the Hurricanes, the best players were Andrei Svechnikov, Vincent Trocheck, Sebastian Aho, Justin Williams. Those four.
What? How is Slavin not on there? He had a goal and an assist.
Gotta throw Slavin.
Slavin had 0.09. He had a goal and assist. But this is just expected goals, all situations. If you look at game score in all situations, Jacob Slavin, of course, leads with a 2.2 weight, followed by Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov. Sami Vatanen comes in next, followed by Martin Necas. So those 5 players led the way for Carolina. Carolina, only person to really get a negative game score was Hayden Fleury, which was a negative 0.25. Not really much of a negative there compared. You got guys like Brandon Smith getting 0.8 for Rangers. Fast, of course, showed up for like 8 seconds of the game and went home. And Carolina Hurricanes are going to have to keep this up. We'll see how everything goes. We'll follow up with the injuries, see if Dougie Hamilton will get a chance of coming in next game. So listen.
Fingers crossed.
Listen to us here on Revolution Rampage, wherever you listen to broadcasts. Follow us on Facebook at Revolution R, on Instagram at Revolution Rampage, and check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/revolutionr. Check out our website, revolutionrampage.com. And our Patreon, patreon.com/revolutionr. Damn, so many letters.
We got sticker for days.
We do have stickers for days. Our latest sticker is our Sebastian Aho sticker, and there is going to be a very fun holographic sticker coming up for August. So Patreons will get a new sticker every month. And every month we come up with a new design. So come complete your collection of Revolution Rampage stickers. You can always get old stickers at any time to have a full collection. And we will mail those out to you sooner rather than later. We do mail out to Canada. So if you are one of our Canadian fans, do not be afraid to join us on Patreon, and we will ship out stickers to you in the northern nation of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
This was Revolution Rampage with another game-winning podcast. I'm Omar.
I'm Zach.
I'm Amanda.